We are bringing to you today a quick little end of week 1 update to our 2 campaigns we have going on, the Blood Bowl League and the Game of Thrones campaign.
Blood Bowl, everyone's played. Ashley played. You played me.
Yep.
She won. Killed a decent amount of guys. I believe she got 4 points, right?
Yeah, I got 4 league points on that one.
Points.
Yep.
So she's actually in first in the league. Angel's in second. He played
The Skaven.
The Skaven Will.
Yep.
So Wood Elves versus Skaven. He got 3 points because all he did was win. He didn't get no extra points.
He almost did. I think he casualty 2 of Will's people.
Casualty 2.
Yeah.
And almost stopped him from scoring. He could have actually, I think, had 5.
They kind of devolved a little bit into it. Let's foul each other.
Yeah. Johnny and Meredith played each other and drew, so they're actually tied for second, third. Third, fourth. Yeah. And then, of course, me and Will are tied for last because we're 0-1 with no points.
Still early.
I'll be playing Angel, the Wood Elves, so I don't have high hopes for that game. I think Will be playing Johnny,
the Dwarves, which in the past, before 2020 updates, was a really good matchup for Skaven. I don't know so much anymore because the Dwarves have gotten massive boosts.
They have their blockers. One of their guys has block or tackle, which takes away your dodge. But I still think they're fast enough.
Frenzy and Dauntless. I feel like the Skaven should still win. Though, both, obviously we're all new at this. As you could see from our week 1 videos, for a couple of them, we're playing as if all of our dudes had guard.
Yep.
We didn't understand the dodge rolls.
Yep.
Clearly.
We didn't understand assist rolls, dodge rolls.
We were also getting triple dice.
Yep.
When we weren't supposed to.
Well, I wasn't. I never got triple.
I was. Right.
So,
sorry.
My guys were never strong enough or in position. I'm not very good at Blood Bowl.
But that's where y'all come in. You're helping us learn how to play Blood Bowl properly by informing us in the comments, hey, this is not how this works.
And Ashley will be playing Meredith.
Yes, I'll be playing Meredith. So I don't know. I think that the Lizardmen are probably are the better team as they are tier 1. Black Orcs are tier 2, but they're fairly similar. I mean, half of our team are strength 4 beefy dudes, and then the other half are fast little stunty dudes. But my dudes overall are just faster. So I don't know. I think I might have a slight advantage, but I think it's going to be pretty close on that one.
So that game we're actually going to film first, and that will be released on Tuesday, I believe. The
yes.
Black Orcs versus Lizardmen.
Yes, so keep an eye out for that this coming Tuesday. What else could we say about Blood Bowl?
I think we're going to go ahead and do Johnny the Dwarves and Will the Skaven on the second week Tuesday. And we're going to go ahead and put the Wood Elves versus Humans on Patreon.
Yes, so the match between Johnny and Meredith, the Dwarves and the Black Orcs, is already up on Patreon. So if you'd like to see that, you should definitely Patreon us so that way you can check it out. I went ahead and left it full of bloopers, so you get to kind of see what we are like in between the cuts. I think there's some pretty funny moments, especially at the end. And you can also see, it's a good way to kind of see how to learn to play Blood Bowl, because we were literally teaching them
I think both of them was their second game.
Yeah, and they had never actually played a full game of Blood Bowl, so we were helping them throughout, kind of teaching them how to play. Granted, we weren't teaching them very well because we had some of the rules wrong on our end, but I still think it's a really good video and you should check it out. I
think that's it for Blood Bowl.
One question that I had that I've been going back and forth on is with Blood Bowl, before we close it out, how to use the SPP points. So the SPP system changed. Now it's no longer based on a die roll, whether you roll singles or doubles. It's now you're awarded points and you can spend those points. It's 3 points to do a random roll on your primary stat, 6 points to choose a primary roll, and then it goes up from there. I can't remember if it's 6 or 8 to random roll.
And a roll of 3.
9. I can't remember. Next level, you can random roll on your secondary stat, then choose your secondary stat, and then finally, I think at 16 or 18 points, you can actually get a characteristic upgrade, a random characteristic upgrade. So we are playing a kind of halved league season. I think the way I understand it, you typically play each team twice in the Swiss rounds before moving on to the finals, but we're just playing everybody once, so it's 5 rounds before moving on.
I don't think there's a set size or anything within the bubble. You do what you got, and since we only have 6 players, and I wanted a practice essentially season, I think this is the way to go.
Yeah, makes sense.
But point wise, I can't tell yet. I won't be able to tell until I figure out how to draft my next team, because I'm assuming I'm not going to be able to bring all of them in.
Yeah.
So the couple of players, do I pick out their points and pick out their skills, and I know that those 2 players that I've juiced up are coming with me, and then roll random for the rest?
Yeah, I don't know. That's where I'm kind of torn. I don't know if we should be rolling randoms or if we should be saving up. Currently, I'm saving up. I didn't get a total of 6 points on any people, but I have several guys that have 3 or 4. And I've decided to save up. I think it probably also depends on if you're in the lead or not, and if your guys are naturally good on their own, and if then your next matchup is a hard one or not. But yeah, I don't know yet if it's best just to random roll or if it's best to save up.
Because even though this is a small season, just right after we plan on starting the next season, we actually have 2 more players lined up for the next season. Yeah. So you'll still be able to redraft and take these guys to your next team.
And keep growing them in theory.
Growing them. Yeah. I just don't know how many of them are going to be.
This is going to be expensive.
Because we are going to cap it at 1,300 or 1.3 million.
Okay.
That's just what it's recommended in the book. So we're going to cap it. That way no one team has a giant advantage.
Yeah. And then there's, of course, if you have someone who's got the higher team value, the other person will get the petty cash and Nurgle. Yeah. Nuffle. I always want to call it Nurgle. Nuffle table. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. You can let us know in the comments what you think is the right strategy. I have no idea, but we'll find out. It should be interesting. I think a couple of them have already rolled for some random stats. I think Johnny in particular lucked out and got a couple of good ones on his, while Meredith, I think she rolled as well, and I think she got for example, shadowing on a big dude, and I think shadowing is considered one of the worst primary stats to get, so you never know what you're going to get. But let's go and move on to Game of Thrones.
Me and Ashley played our game.
Mm-hmm.
She beat me by 3 points?
I think it was 3 victory points, yeah.
Okay, so it gave her 2 CPs, and
it's considered a standard victory. Yeah, I got 2 CPs.
And I got 1. I was able to boost a decent amount of my guys up. My screamers, my standard screamers that I have in the team, actually gave 2 at +1 speed.
They're already so fast.
So yeah, I'm hoping with them, with +1 speed, which makes it a 7, plus Daenerys is +1 speed too, I can make some pretty long charges, or get in the flanks pretty quickly. Probably +1 attack. I think I gave on most of my other guys. And as far as for my extra 5 points to game 2, I think all I did was bring in Jorah Mormont by itself, just to have again, playing starts. I'm trying to counter all her activations, and a cheap activation is might do me okay. And then I added a couple attachments to my Outriders and my Screamers. I believe I did the Screamer Cow for both of them. That way, when they activate or in the beginning of a turn, I can do the order and get one person in line of sight vulnerable. I believe is how it works.
Yeah, the martial training, I think it's called. It's what?
No, my attachments did.
Oh, your attachments.
My attachments. Okay. Yeah, I added 2 attachments to each one of them. So at the beginning of a turn, I can activate the order, and person in long distance and line of sight, I can give a vulnerable token to.
Sweet. Man, that would work great with what is the Stark commander? Roderick.
Yep. And some bowmen.
Yeah, and some bowmen. Yeah. All right. As for me, I had a couple of dudes who got some points. I didn't have as many as he did, though my Wolves of Winterfell, they got all 3 of their points, so I went ahead and gave them Stalwart, So that way they are better with their morale rolls, because I think that a couple of the next upcoming games, panic rolls are going to play a little bit more into it. And I just want them to be able to last longer. I believe I also gave them like a plus attack characteristic. And then Berserkers, I gave them another movement, a +1 movement, make them even faster. So now they're 7 movement. That seemed pretty good. And I believe Summer, she got an extra attack. So that wolf will be attacking for 3 at 2 up. Seemed pretty good too. For my 5 points, my first list was actually only 29 points, so I had a leftover point. So for those 6 points, I went ahead and opted to bring in for this next game another unit of Tully Shields, as I'm going to be using Brynden Tully the Blackfish as my commander for this game. So obviously the more Tully units I have, the better for my cards. I believe the next game is game mode A Dance with Dragons, yeah. So yeah, I'm currently in the lead with 2 CPs. He's got 1 CP. We'll see where this one takes us. For Angel and Will,
they drew. It was pretty close. I think
there was, towards the end, a pretty big thing that happened, that once it was realized they had gone too far.
So it's announced in the video at the end of round 2 or 3, or round 2, I believe. Round 3. One of Will's units claimed 2 victory points on the middle and took a panic test and lost a bunch of guys, but he technically wasn't controlling that objective because he was engaged with a unit that had more ranks.
Yeah. So
he got 2 victory points, but we couldn't backtrack it enough and too many dice rolls had happened. So we just felt like it should just go forward. Because even though you can backtrack it and do all that good stuff, too many dice have been rolled since then. So.
Yeah, and units had been moved, and it's just easier to kind of move forward. So it would have been interesting to see if that would have made very much difference for either one of them. Yes, that's 2 important victory points that gave the draw, but also that was damage to his unit, and his unit could have potentially gone somewhere else. And I don't know, there's a lot of things that could have happened. So who knows what the game could have become, but I think Will opted for the draw as opposed to try to fight it out and grab a win.
Because point-wise, Angel was right there to get the 8 points, so Will didn't have a choice but to go for 8 points as well and play for a draw. So
yeah,
he didn't really have a choice, because if he didn't, he would probably more likely lose in the next turn.
Yeah, I think he had a narrow shot at potentially killing one of his Angel's units that was going to gain a point, but it was a narrow one, so just the safer choice was to go for the draw.
Yeah.
So they both have a CP. I don't know. I don't know. Like, their games are always so close. I feel like the Lannisters are still slightly better than Baratheons pre-patch. They're making a ton of changes to Baratheons going forward once this patch finally comes out. Because I think they do need a little bit of help. So, but that being said, so far they've seemed really close. I think that his strategy of that, what is it called, Lannister supremacy with all of those panic tests is brutal. I mean, whew. That's the majority of the work right there. If you go back and look at how many units Will has lost from those panic rolls, and he notoriously rolls like 3 or 4 wounds every time on those panic rolls.
Yep.
I don't know we don't know yet what their upgrades are going to be. Do you know? I haven't heard anything.
Actually, no, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. They are scheduled to play tomorrow, so.
Yeah. We're excited. I don't know. I'm really excited to see their game. Their games have always been super close. So yeah, we'll see what they go for. I think in a vacuum, the Baratheons would maybe be better at the Dance with Dragons game mode, since they're just meant to turtle like right in the middle as like this massive clash. But the Lannisters, man, they're so damn sneaky and gross with their supremacy. Angel still may be able to just pick them off.
Because you do lose the objective.
If you fail panic test, that's huge. So maybe.
So his turtle might not even, if he can't pass the panic test.
If he can't pass the panic test, it won't even matter.
Yeah.
His best option may be just trying to outright murder Angel's units. I think the big thing is he needs to try to find a way not to get his archers stuck behind all of his units, because they're not like Stark units who can have line of sight no matter what. I think that hurt him the last game where he kind of malpositioned his archers and he couldn't get a good shot in without really hurting his own dudes. I don't know. Well, I'm just excited for the game. I could talk on about it. So we'll see where it goes, and we'll see how everything eventually turns out with the Game of Thrones. We're having fun with it. Again, make sure that you continue following us, because at the end, the 2 winners of both campaigns are going to have a final kind of bragging rights match that will end up on Patreon. So you should really check out our Patreon. Finally,
because that one's going to be so heavy, upgrades and 50 points, right? 50 points each one. We should probably do a full 6'4".
I was actually going to bring that up with you, because I already feel like we're getting kind of bogged down a bit on the 4 foot.
Yeah.
With so many activations, you can't really move or do anything. I think that should definitely do a full 6 foot.
For that final game, we should do a 6 foot.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I think it even recommends it once you go above the standard match points that you can expand to a 4x6 mat or play zone. So, all right, and
last thing.
That's the end of Game of Thrones. So we just wanted to give a final shout out to one of our commenters, Dark Chaos. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. 21. He made a little kind of request for some Warcry, and Warcry is one of those games that we have already delved into a little bit as far as pulling out the terrain, painting it, and I did a video. I don't know, a year or so ago on
right
the Cypher Lords.
Yeah. COVID slowed us down quite a bit.
COVID did, yeah. We started strong and then COVID hit and then we couldn't do anything. Excited that we're able to start kind of easing back into things again and get this channel up and running. But anyways, he made a suggestion for Warcry, and we love an excuse to bring in another video. And we did mention early on that we wanted y'all to comment and let us know what you want to see, and we try our best to make it happen. So we are going to try to make Warcry happen here in the near future. We're actually going to look at potentially playing some games tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe we can catch one on film.
Yeah. Probably going to play one, like a practice round. Let's see how gameplay works and how the actual just board setup, just to know the game.
Yeah.
Because we honestly haven't played one.
We've never played it before, though we've played AOS.
Yes.
And this looks much more simpler, though fun. Like, I like the dice, the idea of, rolling the sets of dice in your hero phase, and depending if you have quads and triples and singles, doubles, stuff like that. Smaller units, easier to manage. I think it's going to be pretty easy to grasp since we already have a foundation of AOS. And go much quicker. I'm pretty excited for it.
I have my AOS army is Seraphon, but I did pick up the Splinter Fang. Splinter Fang Warcry band. So I haven't decided yet which way I'm going. I'm leaning towards the new stuff. I'm always leaning towards the newer models, but so Splinter Fang might be the way I go.
Cool. Well, I'm going to play the Cypher Lord since I have them painted up. I do have Skaven built, but I'm missing. I don't have like a complete warband of any one faction, because for Skaven you can do any of the clans, it looks like.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of fun mix for the Skaven warbands, and they of course are more of a horde aspect. But I haven't delved real deep into it. It looks like it's more based on the clans. I haven't yet seen an option where you can do a mix like you do in AOS, just a master clan mix or whatever. But I don't know. I'll look further into that. But to start, I might as well use my Cypher Lords to have them painted up, and they look really cool. And I'm pretty happy with the paint job.
But just like any game, I'm really excited about the campaign modes.
Absolutely, yes. That is the goal. The first video we put out will not be a campaign mode video. It's just going to be us having fun, doing an open play mode, where we kind of just learn and get used to it. And again, we'll be leaning on y'all to help us out if we are making mistakes. And as we catch on to the game, we're going to look further into the campaign story modes in order to hopefully bring that. That is probably one of our likely go-to options once we finish out Game of Thrones or Blood Bowl to move into.
Sounds good.
All right. Again, thanks for watching. Continue to like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out our Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon. And hope you enjoyed this. Looking forward to week 2.
Thank you.